I mean, aside from that, it's not a bad story.
Yeah,
Right.
Hogwarts Legacy takes place like 100 years or so before Lord Voldemort.
Oh, that's cool. Cool, because I've been thinking about kicking it on. And
Yeah.
if she ain't gonna play it, I'm going to.
So you
Right.
can basically choose whether to be the next Harry Potter or the next Lord Voldemort. Because if you play your cards right, you can get the Avada Kedavra spell, the Killing Curse.
Oh, that's cool.
Because you have to get it in a mission. But
Oh, right.
if
They make
you,
it tough.
yeah, I fucked it up in the first, in my first campaign, so I didn't get that Killing Curse.
Oh, that's all right.
Yep. I lost Sebastian's trust in the end.
That's cool, though. Yeah, I thought about giving it a try. Oh.
Just getting the stuff set up as we wait for the rest of our group to get here. But we may end up go ahead and getting started beforehand. But
No problem.
we are actually broadcasting right now on YouTube and Twitch, so you can follow us there if you want. In case we have anyone that ends up getting on whatever the stream and ends up, whatever chatting, you guys can chat back. So there isn't really a category I've noticed for what we're doing. Okay, it's kind of funny. Just because, like, the game is so new. Like, there's no Twitch category for Marvel 616.
That's awesome.
Also, like, for the like the YouTube, it also isn't available there either. Just because. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Well, for those of you that are watching, or may want to watching this at some point, as we are also going to go ahead and start recording here. That's the most important part. That way, it's easier for me to go ahead and reclaim footage, play around with stuff. Yakety yak. Like good stuff. But anyway, greetings and welcome to the Table in the Tavern. My name is Patrick, and we, of course, are going to be playing some Marvel 616 tonight, which is a new RPG, which we're all having a lot of fun playing. We've been playing it week by week, getting in as much time as we possibly can afford without losing focus in our personal lives. And to that regard, the game has been good to us as we collectively, I guess, entered into a contest sponsored by DibiPlane and other sources And by winning said contest, we ended up being awarded the content of like all of the Marvel 616 TTRPG content, which is pretty radical, pretty cool. Huge for us because we then all have access to all these wonderful wonderful characters, powers, traits, and so forth. And of course all the other stuff that goes along with it. But as we go ahead and get started, I would like to do a recap as we normally do of what happened the last time we were playing this particular game. Everyone remembers.
Well, we all introduced our characters and kind of described a little bit of our backstories. Everybody being very diverse with their backstories, which was pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see how these characters all develop together. After getting our characters kind of introed, we arrived at Xavier's School for the Gifted. Got to be introduced to a few of the NPC teachers that we would be interacting with. That was pretty fun, getting to see, I think it was Cyclops and Wolverine, a few of the other classic cast. But they took us into the danger room to let us kind of test our powers out and test our teamwork skills, and we got into a pretty battle with some Sentinels. It was very fun. My character wasn't rolling so hot, but it led to some pretty interesting roleplay of slipping around the battlefield. But no, the team worked really great together, alongside with our teachers and getting to use our unique power sets. We defeated our enemy, and then got to interact with a few of the students that we would be getting to encounter whilst at the school, and set up some foreshadowing for some future kind of stuff. Each person kind of got to go and do their own little thing, and I think that's kind of where we left off.
Yeah, some cool things ended up happening. Of course, the meeting of all the faculty, including people like Storm and Beast, and I think you guys met Jubilee and even Gambit, various members of the X-Men, and some of the students as well. You guys endured a lecture from Cyclops and all that good stuff. But then after participating in the affairs of the Danger Room, as you had said, you guys went on your own little ventures. And in one of those, someone ended up going to a library. I believe that was Cody. Cody doesn't have isn't going to be able to voice much this session, having a little difficulty there, but he'll be joining us in the chat that you can see here. I believe you received a book there, Cody, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, indeed.
McCoy was in the library.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Okay. Pardon me. Yes, it was. I borrowed a book on what my powers supposedly are based off of. Hank helped get it, and then we torched a tree with lightning. Yes, you did. He took you out to a um, archery range where you did some target practice. He wasn't certain exactly what kind of target practice you were talking about until you, yeah, struck a tree with said that book. See if I can find it here. Greetings, Chris.
Oh, I'm late.
There, you're okay. We just actually got started.
I actually am. I got out earlier than I thought. So.
Well, we're glad you ended up being able to make it. Yeah. So your book. So another good way to start is to go around the table now that we all are here at our virtual table and go ahead and introduce everyone. We'll go ahead and start with Brian. Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little about the character you're going to be playing tonight? And meanwhile, Cody, go ahead
and. My name's Brian. I work at Quaker. Tonight, I'll be playing a character by the name of Cisco. He does not have a superhero name because he'll be earning it over time, most likely when he graduates this school. His powers is basically to control the weather and to shapeshift and to teleport. And has a bow staff for melee close-up combat as well.
Interesting. Well, you're definitely in a great place to start learning some of your powers. And I believe last week or the week before that, because we're doing this bi-weekly, you had a private session with Storm where you helped to cool her chi.
Yeah.
With a gentle wind. At any rate, continuing on, Chris or Drake, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the character you're going to be playing tonight?
All right. Well, I live in Texas, aka the Big Country, and in Abilene. I used to work with Pat at Olive Garden. I'm still there. I also sell comic books and collectibles as a side hustle. So talking me into playing a Marvel superheroes game was pretty tough, pretty hard deal, hard sell. I am playing a character by the name of Jason Winters, as we introduced last week. He is the son of a mutant named Christopher Winters, who is a telekinetic illusion generator, and he's got some abandonment issues. He's got a sister that's currently MIA, and he's got some personality and personal issues that have not yet come to light yet fully. But I'm gonna role play them in here. You know, he's got some little quirks about him, but he is a telekinetic that also has a minor teleportation ability. He started out with just being able to levitate and blink around. At the end of last session, he added telekinetic attack, and he added telekinetic manipulation. So he's moving right along. I decided to prioritize telekinesis for him for now, but he has adopted his father's code name, so he is going by his code name as Mayhem. And like I mentioned before, he has his father's mask, but has not yet decided to use it. And he's looking forward to his training so he can do something and fix some of the problems in this messed up world. That was it.
Very good. Thank you very much for that, there, Chris. Really appreciate that. It's very informative. Continuing on, we have Damon. Damon wants to tell us a little bit about yourself, a little about the character you're going to play tonight.
After I eat, you can get up here with me, okay?
I don't know. My name's Damon. I go by GM Dad 88. And most gaming related stuff. Gamer tag, whatever. My character is Lee Bruceman Jr. He's a little kid who has phasing powers, kind of like Kitty Pryde from the X-Men cast. But to kind of change it up a little bit, he is going to kind of focus more on martial arts, hence where his superhero name being Taekwon Ghost. Yeah, that's it. He's just planning on going around and gonna try and get trained by as many powerful fighters as he can find. So, like Daredevil and Iron Fist, and he got to train a little bit with Wolverine last session. That was awesome. So looking forward to seeing where this kind of little character goes.
Yeah, me too. Looks like I gotta do a little restart to my computer real quick, my laptop. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go choke spell while it does that. It won't bother anything. I'll just switch devices stuff. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so continuing on, we have Cody, and Cody is he's retired. He'll be playing John, aka the Green Knight. He is 15 and has powers of a healing factor, sword and sorcery, and now looking through a book to try to see what this Green Knight thing is about. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started with that. So the pages of this ancient tome, weathered and yellow. The ink is faded, but still legible. The scent of old parchment fills the air as you turn the pages. His eyes settling on a passage that seems to jump out at you, John. In the eternal cycle of life and death, there exists a truth unspoken by mortal tongues. The Green Knight and the Red Lord are not simply rivals, but forces bound in a ceaseless war. To preserve the order and one to consume. Balance was their path. Yet balance has been broken. The Red Lord stirs, his shadow stretching long over the land. His agents move unseen, his whispers eroding in the will of men. Eroding the will of men, sorry. Where he treads, the world withers. Where his hand passes, life turns to dust. He comes not with armies, but with inevitability. If he is not opposed, there shall be no rebirth. Only the stillness of the grave. Yet, in each age, when the Green Knight and the world teeters towards ruin, a champion rises anew, chosen by the land itself, anointed by the blood of those who have come before. The Green Knight is summoned to battle against the tide. The mantle is not given lightly, nor is it granted in peace. Those who bear it do so at great cost, for their fate is bound to the realm. To fail is to perish. To perish is to doom the world. From the ashes of old rises the new. The name is written, as it has been written before, as it will be written again. The one who carries this burden shall not seek it, yet it shall find them all the same. Their blade shall burn with the lifeblood of the earth. Their body shall bear the weight of ages. They shall walk the path of knights long dead, hear the voices of warriors lost, and face the doom that all who came before could not escape. And thus, the green calls once more. The name of the next guardian is John Peters. The ink seems fresher than the rest of the text, as if it had been written mere moments ago. The air feels heavy. The book shudders slightly. The words burning into your mind. Outside, a gust of wind rattles the windows. And for the briefest of moments, you can hear the sound of distant hoofbeats echoing in your ears. But then silence. And with that, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. So, Cody, I see you're typing.
So does that description fit the little book that's in the chat?
That is that the book is the same. Yes.
Just making sure.
So you put the book away. And you're gonna want to go talk to Hank later. So, okay. All right. By away, you mean in a backpack? Okay. All right. So you got it in your pack. Put it away. Yeah. So as you finish reading your book and have your experience, the rest of your classmates, the ones that you had joined in the danger room before and attended class with before, they entered the library. Apparently, they were looking for you. Class is about to start once again. You guys are due in the danger room. So that is actually y'all. Chris, Damon, Brian. So you guys come into the library as he puts this book in his backpack. You two may have thought you heard just for a moment the sounds of a horse.
In the library?
Yeah, strange.
And what's Cody's character's name again?
John.
John. So I look over at John. I'm like, John, did you hear a horse? What was that?
Pardon me.
I mean, we're in the school and there's not any horses running around that I've seen, right?
I'm not the only one that heard that, right?
Mm-hmm. I heard that too.
You'll go take a peek out the windows, see if there's like a horse, maybe like in the parking lot or something like that. Yeah,
I heard a horse too, but haven't seen one other than pictures. Yeah, that was kind of strange, huh? Very strange. Interesting. So yeah, I guess we go to the danger room. And what age did I make myself? Well, there wasn't an age in here. I guess I'm like 15 or 16 years old. Something like that.
All right, so you make your way down to the danger room. And of course, there you find Wolverine and Colossus once again, waiting for you with a couple of other students this time. Making 8 of you. And they start talking about how this time it's not going to be the same as last. This time you guys will each be facing a single sentinel between the two teams of you. Okay? So basically they're breaking you up into teams. You 4 against a long 4, not against another 4, but each of you will be facing a sentinel on your own. So there will be no outside interference from Colossus or Wolverine. This is you guys and you guys are looking. But it is still they still have the training wheels on the sentinels. They won't be at full power. Not this time. But this time you won't be getting any assistance. They ask if you guys are ready.
Ready.
Lee will bow to Wolverine, his sensei.
He looks at you and gives you a little bow back, and he's like, "All right, good luck." Sorry, good luck, Bob.
Okay.
So the lights fade as Wolverine and Colossus, they leave the danger room. The door, of course, closes behind them, and then the lights of a grid, take shape of a ruined city, much like before. And you see 2 sentinels emerge from the city, and they shout, "Halt, mutant!" Go ahead and roll initiative.
So, real quick, are the two groups, we're all together right now, or we're already separated?
So yeah, there's two groups of you. We'll just say that the two groups of you, for all intents and purposes, are about like 30 feet apart from each other. Okay.
Okay. Right.
And you guys are about 90 feet from the Sentinels as they're closing. Okay. And I'll give you a basic idea.
Got it. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Initiative.
I'm gonna head back inside. Hold on.
Julia.
Probably hear me shivering.
Initiative modifier. There it is. So I'm just gonna roll right there.
I rolled a 12.
Can I come lay down?
I rolled a 14 with a marvel. It's a 14 with a fantastic.
Fantastic 18.
Yeah, fantastic 14.
Bonus round.
Yeah.
Nah, that is a cool feature of the game. I really do like.
Yeah, rolling initiative.
Yeah, if you roll that marble, you get that kind of little bonus turn to set up or something like that. I'm gonna use it to activate some corny stuff. So it's perfect for that.
Right.
Give me one moment. I'm gonna switch device.
Yes. But watch, that's going to be the best roll I have of the night. It's usually how it goes.
The first one is usually the best.
So,
Well, hopefully they don't get worse from here. Hopefully they get better.
Yeah.
Typically that is the thing is you start rolling really well, and then it teeters. Let me grab a pencil real quick, fresh one. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so who had 15 or higher?
I rolled an 18.
Yeah, I think you said you rolled a fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And what was your name again? It was Lee?
Lee? Yeah.
Okay. All right, and do you have anyone else over a 15?
Cody had an 18 standard.
Okay. That's John. Okay. So who 15 or lower?
I had 12.
I had a fantastic 14.
Okay. And what about you there, Brian?
12 standard. Guys save the best for last.
Okay. All right, so Lee, you have a fantastic roll. So you're going to have your initiative initial surprise round. So the moment the Sentinel pops up, what are you doing?
I'm going to move to get a little closer to my enemy, and I will activate my attack stance power.
Okay.
From so basically, hiya! As I
So
run up to
you
this
close the
giant robot.
distance. So now you're. Sorry, I apologize. I didn't mean to talk over.
No,
you.
you're good.
So
No, you're good.
You close the distance. We'll say you come about 30 feet closer. So you're within 60 feet from it, unless you'd like try to do anything to get yourself closer. You may, but other than that, is that gonna end your
Yeah,
surprise?
Yeah, that'll end my little bonus turn there.
Okay. So then, Jason, you also had a fantastic roll. What are you doing on your surprise round?
I'm gonna take to the air and move into the direction of the sentinel, so as to make sure that anyone on the ground is not going to be an immediate target.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I like that. So you're scanning the area, making sure to look out for anyone that could be in harm's way, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, trying to make sure that while my teammates are moving into position to do their thing, the sentinel is more focused on me than what they're doing.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Will that end your surprise round as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that brings us to top of actual initiative, back to Lee. So Lee, you have moved 30 feet closer and got yourself what was it? You channeling your chi?
Yeah, attack stance. It doubles my melee damage. So instead of a +2, I'll get a +4 if I land a strike. But I will move to try and close that gap again, and if I'm within an attack range, I'll try to punch it. But if not, I will move or use my action to move.
Okay. All right, so you're going to move like 30 feet closer, I'm guessing again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this puts you within 30 feet of him. Okay.
Well, then I will run up. Well, then I will use my action to use the move action then and close the final gap then.
Okay. I'm assuming you're trying to be like, somewhat stealthy about this. You're not just trying to, convey your location to where it just goes ahead and punch you in the next go round, right? That kind of thing.
Not really. I'm just kind of running up to it.
Okay, just making sure. All right. And that'll end your turn then?
Yeah.
Okay. That brings us to John. John, you see your friend take off in a flash without any hesitation, disappearing into the city, charging forward at the Sentinel. He's just like powering up. What would you like to do? Okay. Go ahead and make me an attack. All right. Let's go ahead and get some damage calculator for that. You definitely hit. 18, fantastic. That's awesome. He says he's seeing Lee run up with no hesitation. He fires a bolt at the Sentinel, and 12. And this actually stuns him for 1 round. Awesome. Okay. So as you fire your bolt of lightning at the Sentinel, it jolts backwards. The electricity seems to run rampant on its sensors, and it reels. It is going to be stunned for 1 round. That is huge. Okay. Will that end your turn, John? All right. Okay. That'll bring us to Jason.
I see the lightning bolt hit the sentinel, and I've flown in its direction, so I move a little closer, and I'm going to use considering it's reeling and stunned, I'm going to use a telekinetic attack to try to push it all the way over and on its back, so that our buddy Lee, who's charging in, could hop on and do some damage when he gets there. So, do I just click on telekinetic attack to roll this?
Yeah, it should roll it for you.
All right, I'm going to click on this.
Click on the click on the bonus next to your power. So you're going to be rolling with your telekinetic ability,
Right.
being that it's a psychic ability. You're going to roll with logic. So you're going to go to the plus to your logic and hit that little. Yeah.
And it says it will cost a 5 focus.
Okay. So then you also just deduct 5 focus from your pool.
Okay, so but I click on the across from the logic. It has the plus and the number, the +3. So that says non-combat check. Do I roll there?
Yeah, just go ahead and hit that. I find that to be the easiest way.
So it's a standard 18, and then I'm going to subtract 5 from my focus.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Correct. So 18 will hit. So what you're going to go ahead and calculate that damage. Okay. And that's going to be what was ever on your Marvel die that you rolled. Okay.
It's a 5.
And then, okay, so that's going to be times your multiplier.
Which my multiplier is for logic is is times 1 with a +3.
Okay. So you're going to add 3 to it. Okay.
So it's 5. So it'd be 8 points.
8 points. Okay. So we'll say that your telekinetic push definitely makes the Sentinel wobbly. Okay.
Yeah, it's an actual punch. It's an actual attack, not a push.
Yeah. Okay. So so it was 90 feet from you.
Well, I moved up the first time in the pre-round. Let's say I fly toward it, and then I moved up again. So how far away do I have to be to use the telekinesis?
And, how what's the range on it? It's an attack, like a physical attack.
Yeah, it's a telekinetic attack. Let's see, range. It says varies.
Yeah, it's so you probably don't rush up to it. You're probably hitting it with like a telekinetic blast the same way that like someone like Jean Grey would or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's a telekinetic punch or.
Yeah. Well,
So
basically punching with your mind.
Yeah, I figure I can be within 30 feet. I don't have to.
Yeah, you're definitely within 30 feet. You're definitely within 30 feet. You just weren't going to be close enough to actually punch it.
No, I'm not getting all the way up there where they could like reach out and grab me. No.
I just wanted to clarify, so that's fine. You definitely hit it. You make it wobble, okay? But it hasn't exactly fallen over.
Okay. Well, that will end my turn though. I'm pretty sure that's all I can do is the one action. Am I correct?
Yeah. You have a reaction, but other than that,
yeah. And then I've already moved. Yeah. That is my turn. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you down there. I didn't mean to step on you. I'm sorry. So yeah, that'll end my turn.
okay. There we go. Okay. That will bring us to Cisco. Cisco, you see your friends charge forward at the Sentinel, attacking at it. What would you like to do?
How far away am I from the Sentinel?
So, because this is your first turn, you're going to actually be 90 feet.
Can I move up to 40 feet away from it?
What's your movement speed?
5?
5.
Yeah.
So I equivalent 5 to about 30 feet. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm going to move up to 30 feet up to him, and I'm going to that'll pretty much end my turn. I don't have any moves that within range through
Okay.
the Sentinel.
All right. Because the Sentinel is stunned, that brings us back to the top of initiative. Okay, with Lee. So you see that your party is joined you in combat as a bolt of lightning, and then a telekinetic punch come from your friends, sending your Sentinel onto its heels, rocking backward as you approach. I'm assuming you want to punch it now. You are muted.
Yeah, I would like to run up and try to punch the Sentinel. Try and get it in like the chin or something.
Okay. So it's pretty tall. But you can definitely punch it.
$16, fantastic.
Okay. So we'll say in that case, fantastic success. Sure. Why not? So you actually find a pile of rubble, okay, leading up to the Sentinel, and charge up toward onto the rubble and leap off of it and strike at the Sentinel. What's your damage?
That would be 16.
16. Okay, very good. So the 16 will be enough to fully knock this thing over, as was intended by Chris previously. My target was going to be like 10 to do that, and you are just shy. But with the combined efforts, no problem. Okay. So you guys actually knock it over. What's that?
With it being fantastic, that actually doubles it up to 32.
32. Okay. And does it have any additional effects, or is that it?
Yeah, it was just a standard punch. I don't have anything that like would add stunning or anything yet.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so with 32, yeah, you definitely send this thing onto its back. It comes crashing down to the ground. Okay, it's still operational, but it's definitely worse for wear. You actually punch it in the side of the face, and that part of the face actually cracks, okay? And you can actually see part of its cheek where you had punched it flake off, to reveal its interior, its circuitry beneath. Will that end your turn?
Yeah. I will hold my reactions just in case any of my teammates need aid.
So, John, you see Lee jump from a pile of debris, forces Sentinel, sending the Sentinel flying backwards onto the ground after having been stunned and attacked with a volley of attacks from your entire party, and then him do a backflip and land spectacularly on the ground next to the Sentinel. With a big thumbs up to you. Okay, so what would you like to do? You continue running another 30 feet and towards the Sentinel, deploying, depending on how close I am to determine attack. You would be all the way up to it now, so you'd be at its foot as it lays on the ground before you. Swing his sword at his ankle. 16, fantastic. Okay. You cleave at its ankle. Does it have any additional effects with the fantastic? 40 damage and bleeding. Yeah. Okay. So you actually cleave its leg off. Okay. So I gotta do some math. You said 30, 35 or 30. What was it again there, Damon?
32.
What I thought. Okay. Okay. Well, not what I thought. I knew it was over 30.
Yeah, I did 8, so that'd be 40.
Yep. So that's 80, 100, and 92. Okay. So 92. And then that brings us to Jason. You guys managed to knock it on the ground. It still seems stunned.
You
What would you like to do?
part of its face is the outer leg is gone, so the inside circuitry and stuff is showing.
Yeah, and he's missing a part of his leg from the ankle down.
All right, so I'm gonna use my telekinetic attack again because the way it describes it is the character can punch or choke an enemy with their mind.
Okay.
So I don't want to punch, but I want to reach into that open space and just grab some circuitry and rip it out.
Okay.
And start seeing if I can do some damage to its operating. I mean, I know it's stunned, but I want to see if I can really mess up whatever it's got going on because its head is obviously giving instructions to the rest of it. So if I can disrupt any amount of its ability to function, that'd be great.
For sure. Go ahead and roll your logic.
Okay, I got 18 standard this time, and I rolled a 6 on my marble die, so it's going to be 9 points of damage.
So okay, you reach out with your mind, okay, and grab hold of the circuitry of the Sentinel, and beneath its face, it actually managed to pull free its part of its eye and some of the circuitry beneath it. Yeah. Okay. Well done. Will that end your turn?
Yeah, and I stay in the air.
Okay.
But I'm still back far enough where if it starts to get up, I'm not going to be right there.
All right. So you guys are over 100 damage now. Cisco.
Okay.
You guys, you see your party already just taking this Sentinel apart as you approach. You're finally within 30 feet. What would you like to do?
I am gonna move at least up to 20 feet closer to the Sentinel.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start whirling my staff really fast in the air and create a giant fog cloud and blind him.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Go ahead, and I believe that's going to be an ego.
Yep. I got a 13.
All right. Okay. Yeah. You use your tornado. Okay. And manage to not only do a little bit of damage to it because you guys have exceeded the HP that I had set for it. You managed to rip its head from its shoulders. So as you're there, Lee, after you sprung down and punched it and all that good stuff, the rest of your party goes in tandem and just decimates this thing. And you see its head lift up off of the ground, starting to take the upper torso of it with it. Okay, as it rips it off. But with the storm, the head hurls into the air. Okay, and is coming crashing down on the ground below. You're pretty close to it. Let's go ahead and get a reaction from you. I'd like to get an agility.
Give it 1 second. Okay, I can't.
I
I
got
can't use
a
that.
14 fantastic.
Hey, can I? I'm right above there. Can I use that help action to help him with his roll?
Absolutely.
Nice.
You're like, look out!
Yeah, even if I have to maybe give him a little telekinetic nudge.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, we'll give me a double edge,
Nice.
and that will make it a 16 fantastic. Thank you, everybody.
Very good. So you do a double backflip somersault and spring out of the way of the head as it comes crashing down. Okay. You see that the other team is still pounding away at its sentinel, but they look like they are winning the battle as well. So we still have, we can bring us back to top of initiative. You see the other sentinel releases a beam of focused energy upon one of the students, blasting him backwards as he hits the ground. Okay, falling out of the air as he was flying around, shooting it with energy beams of some kind. And the rest of the group goes over. One of the members of the party goes to render him aid as the others continue fighting the creature from the ground below. What would you guys like to do? You guys want to sit it out and see what happens, or get involved?
Jason's like, I say we go save their butts and show them that we're the better team.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that would bring us to top of initiative. It would be Lee.
I got to see what he said. Sorry, I'm going back and forth between my character sheet and the Cody text. Yes. Okay. Cool. He says he's firing a bolt at the other sentinel.
Okay. First up is Lee. Top of initiative. As we had ended with Cisco. Lee, you would still be within, about 60 feet of the other sentinel. If there's anything you'd like to do.
Right. Yeah, I'll move closer, staying in my attack stance, just to see if they, need any aid, but not engage,
Okay.
directly just yet.
You see a bolt of lightning shoot out from behind you as John releases another volley of energy from his sword. What was the result of that attack there, Cody?
It'd be great if we kill their sentinel.
17 fantastic. What's the damage on that fantastic? Alright, 12 and stunned for a round. So it's not destroyed, but it's also stunned like your guys was previously. So that brings us to we'll say you, Jason.
Oh, well, I fly into that direction, and I'm gonna attack this guy too. Is there any rubble or anything laying around that I could grab and just throw down on top of it? Is it still is it standing or is it on the ground?
So sure, there's two things that I think of right off the bat. One is a sentinel head, the other one is a sentinel foot from the previous sentinel you guys fought.
Yeah.
But yes, there is other rubble that you guys can find.
All right, I use the sentinel head, and I'm just gonna using my telekinetic attack. I'm just gonna friggin' all out throw this sentinel head at the head of the other sentinel.
Okay. So you use your telekinetic ability and lob the head. Go ahead and roll a, logic.
Oh man, I rolled a 9. It's
Okay, so you do manage to lob the head. However, it crashes
like
just shy
I would
of.
like to
Oh,
help ally. I would like to like as it's falling short in the air, maybe like jump up and do like some kind of like soccer move to like kick it to like put it back into its trajectory to maybe provide a aid.
okay. We're gonna go and decide this with an edge roll for you, Chris.
so how do I make an edge roll?
So you're gonna choose one of the dice that you rolled. Okay. Okay. Basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna press re-roll,
I'm gonna re-roll.
and then you're gonna select one of the dice. Okay. Whichever one you'd like, typically like the lowest one. Okay. And then you're gonna hit re-roll again, and it's gonna re-roll those dice.
Just the one die or all of them?
It's gonna re-roll that one die.
So I have a 1 and a 2 on regular, and the Marvel die is a 3. So you think I should re-roll the 1?
Well, it definitely gives you the best chance.
All right, as I was thinking, if I rolled the Marvel die and got a Marvel, then it would maybe be even better. But that would still be a 9. I'm gonna roll the I'll re-roll the 1.
Okay.
So I click on the 1 and hit re-roll.
Yep.
And it's a 2. And it's a 10 now instead of a 9.
Okay. So you do manage to kick the head, okay, as it were, but it still just lands shy. But great attempt. Great attempt. That brings us to Cisco.
Maybe we intimidated it.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna run the full 30 feet closer to him. And then okay, I have a jump speed of 3. So I'm gonna use 2/3 of that. So that should put me at somewhere around 10 feet away from him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use thunder on him. So
Okay.
so bunch of lightning strikes is gonna hit him basically.
I like that. Go ahead and roll me an I believe that's an ego.
19, fantastic.
Well done. What's the result of the damage on that?
26.
Okay. 26 points of damage. Very good. So a lightning bolt emerges from some clouds that mysteriously just appear out of the sky as the dark room becomes darker. And this bolt of energy strikes down upon the sentinel, and like a lightning rod, it goes down through it and explodes from its feet below, sending the sentinel hurling through the air and crashing down on the ground below. You manage to have the killing blow on each one of the sentinels. I just want to say, but that just sometimes it benefits going last for the
Like
right.
I said.
Say the best for last. Nicely done. So after the crash of the Sentinel, you hear some of the students exclaim, "Hey, that was our kill!" And one of the others as he stands up coughing, he says, "Hey, we could use all the help we can get. Thank you for the assistance." As the other two approach, one of them limping slightly. The lights come back on, and the grid turns into a metallic alloy as you find yourselves in a blank room filled with just metal. As the illusion of the city and even the sentinels disappears. But as promised, the damage is real. And Colossus comes in along with Jean Grey. Okay, that comes in as the moment that she detects someone had been actually hurt. She was alerted to come up to the danger room or was monitoring whatever, and takes a look at the student to make sure that they're okay. As Colossus and Wolverine watch on. The two of them congratulate you guys for being able to destroy these Sentinels on your own without any assistance from the teachers, and also commend the you guys for essentially assisting the other team when they found that they had a hardship. But Colossus critiques you that perhaps your endeavor would have been better served in trying to lend aid to the student that was injured, while Wolverine says they eliminated the threat on the battlefield. That's just as good. And so they're at odds a little bit with the critiquing you guys in your decisions. With that,
we were kind of both ways. I was there to help them in like a defensive kind of way, and
right.
The rest of the team got on it. So we were kind of 50-50 there. Well,
yeah, for sure. It's just a minor critique from the teachers. That's all. But that also shows the dynamic difference between Wolverine and Colossus, as they have different opinions on whatever. One, the defender, and we'll say Colossus, realizing that was what you intended as you speak up, says he commends you for your efforts, thinking of your teammates first, and of course your teammates' safety rather than glory. Okay. Thank you for the correction. And with that concludes our little danger room session, as you guys are then once again escorted out of the danger room and make your way back up to the mansion, where you guys can enjoy a little bit of free time. Okay. I do know Cody has said something about wanting to seek Hank to talk to him about some stuff. McCoy, as you said. Was there anything else anyone would like to do?
I'd like to go see maybe Jean Grey to see if she can give me any pointers on how I might be able to increase the amount of force that I use with my telekinetics.
Okay, very good. So you actually seeing Jean Grey for the first time, aiding one of the students, you helped her by escorting the student down to the med bay with Jean Grey, and she asked you about yourself as you guys go. So you're the one named Jason, is that right?
That's correct. Well, I think the way we did it is her and Professor X are the two that came and got me.
Right. Oh, that's right. Okay. It's good to see you again, Jason. How are you doing in your studies? And of course, I saw you were quite proficient with your use of your telekinetic abilities.
Yeah, it just seems like either maybe I need to do more work, or I'm not. My teammates are inflicting way more amounts of damage than I am. I'm wondering if there's some technique I can work on to strengthen that part of my telekinetic attacks.
She ponders her query as she pulls out a med pack, reaching the med bay, and begins to administer an ice pack to the shoulder of the student, and then goes and examines his leg where he was limping. Says, sometimes it's not the most important thing to be able to do the most amounts of damage. sometimes the best course can be to assist and make sure that you all go home in one piece.
Of course. But I also know that at times I guess the actions I took were the right ones because I was trying to. We had peeled off some plate off the face of the Sentinel. I'd used my telekinetics to start ripping out circuitry out of the inside, and for how it went out, it worked out perfectly. But I just didn't know if you had the same type of issues sometimes, where maybe you're trying to do something and you're just don't have enough force behind your telekinetics.
Yes, we all have our struggles. That is something we all face, and we all also face our own doubts. But I believe that with time, you will learn to focus better. Keep your mind keen. She says, being able to clear your mind of the problems you may be having, being able to forget past failures and focus on your future endeavors. I would like to, she says, schedule a time with you to be able to sit down, maybe with Professor X and Psylocke as well, and maybe together we can help you with your telekinetic abilities, how to better harness them.
That would be awesome. I look forward to that. Thank you.
Of course. Is there anything anyone else would like to get into as you guys go about your day?
I'm muting myself for a minute. I gotta call David back to the restaurant.
Is Morph around?
I'll tell you what, go ahead and roll me a vigilance.
I got 13.
Okay, so you managed to find your way to the kitchens where you find Beast and Beast cooking.
Hey, Beast. I was wondering if you've seen Morph around lately.
Now, I do want to mention that I did say, I did not accidentally say you see Beast and Beast cooking. So you'd see two Hank McCoys.
Oh. So he is there, Morph is there?
More than likely, yes. So as you say that, you see one Beast shake his head as the other one begins to laugh hysterically. Okay? And then you see him morph into what you traditionally know as Morph. Okay? Says, we were just making some lasagna. Would you like to help?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Hank says, well, go ahead and get yourself an apron from the pantry. And leads you over and grabs you an apron. Morph says, no, not that one. This one. And it says something about not tampering with the cook's buns, and hands that one to you.
Why, thank you.
All right. So before long, you probably find Cody. I think you had said something about wanting to find Beast as well, correct? So you find your way to the kitchen as well, seeing Cisco being lured into cooking lasagna with Beast and Morph. As Beast looks up from boiling some pasta noodles or pasta and says, "Well, visit John. Had a chance to get into that book at all?" As Morph looks at you and asks you to help him squeeze some tomatoes, he says that they're best if they're crushed by hand. So you and Morph start crushing tomatoes there, Brian, as he asks you how you've been faring in the danger room.
I feel I've been performing fairly well lately.
He says he heard that someone got hurt.
Unfortunately, yes, someone did get hurt.
So they don't call the danger room for nothing.
Yeah.
Cody, you said
Yeah.
sorry, I apologize. Cody, you said you would like to discuss it with you when you have free time. He says, what better time than when preparing one's meal? You know, cooking is much like a journey, much like the one you face, the journey of the Green Knight. Start helping them, and then tell him about how the book changed as you've read it. Okay, the library. He says that's very peculiar. I've never seen a book write itself. Perhaps there's more to this book than one knows. Perhaps it's mystical nature, magical arts. Something I'll have to ponder upon. However, I have been doing some pondering, and I thought about someone that may be able to help you with your sword play. I was just talking with Morph about a particular swordsman, and Morph turns into what you guys all know as Nightcrawler, and he says, "Yes, that's the one, Kurt."
Holy shit. Get your ass up here.
And says, but tracking him down will not be an easy thing. He has been quite reclusive of late. And Beast then cleans his hands off as he pulls out some of the pasta, draining it and allowing it to cool in a pan. Tells Morph that if he wouldn't mind just watching the browning the sausage and so forth. Morph says he'll keep an eye on it. He says to you, there, Cisco, this may end up concerning you as well, your classmate and so forth. Perhaps you can use your assistance in tracking down this reclusive Kurt. A little bit of time out of the mansion could do you all good.
Sure. What is it?
I got something. Give me 1 second. So, you follow Beast, who actually makes his way down to the garage. As he's making his way, you're returning from the med bay there, Chris. Okay.
Okay.
And you see two of your companions or classmates being escorted by Beast towards the garage. And you hear them explain something about they're getting ready to leave the mansion on some sort of excursion. They ask you if you wanted to come.
Sure. Where are we going?
Not sure yet. They all exclaim as they make their way to the garage where you find Lee and Wolverine.
Okay, so being the type that's like, well, we're going out on the field, we might actually see action. So I grab my dad's mask and shove it in my jacket so it's out of sight. But you never know. We end up having to do something.
I like that. I like that a lot. Very cool. You head back upstairs and make your way down to the garage where you find Lee and Wolverine looking over his motorcycle, talking about different fighting styles and so forth. And telling him how great it was to see him slug the lights out of that Sentinel.
Yeah, it was cool.
Logan, excellent timing. I have a request that requires your particular skill set. Is that so? What do you need, Hank? Beast raising an eyebrow, and kind of waft the smell of cigar smoke out of his faces. I have a student with an unusual destiny, tied with ancient lore. He's been researching the Green Knight, and it's clear to me that he needs more than just books. He needs a mentor, someone who understands swordplay and perhaps the moral weight of the battles ahead. Wolverine, leaning on the bike, exhales smoke. Let me guess, you want me to go track someone down? Beast smirks slightly. Indeed, if there's anyone who can find Kurt Wagner, it's you. Wolverine, grumbling, flicking his ashes. Kurt's been off the grid for, well, since all that Fall of the X mess. If you don't want to be found, that's his choice. Leaning, I'm sorry? Okay. Leaning against the, I'm sorry. Leaning forward, B says, I believe he wants to be found. By the right people, perhaps. If anyone can guide this student, it's him. And if anyone can find him, it's you. Wolverine sighs, taking another drag before putting out the cigar. Fine. But I'm making this a 2-for-1 trip. Beast raises an eyebrow. Oh? Another kid's been asking around about a martial arts teacher. He motions at Lee. I was already gonna track down Danny Rand, see if he was still in the city. Might as well take care of both jobs at once. You good with that? Beast nods, chuckling. Efficiency. Efficient as ever, I see. Just try not to start any bar fights, hmm? Wolverine grins. Can't make any promises, Hank. Tell the kids to be ready. They follow my lead, or they don't go. Hank looks at you guys. Well, Best of luck to you.
So I walk over to it's John that's having the Green Knight stuff, or is it Lee?
John.
I walk over to John and I'm like, oh, I heard the horses too. That explains more because I forgot about the whole Green Knight aspect. But it's strange that I would hear the horses too. Why would I hear them as well unless there was actually a horse, some intangible horse running around the area? That seems strange.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
Like I don't have telepathy, but I'm still a psionic, and I shouldn't be able to share your experiences unless it's actually audible to anybody, which would mean that some form of it was actually there. That's how I would look at it. I could be wrong.
I'd say you're probably right about that.
Maybe your sorcery is stronger than we thought.
So you show your amulet.
Amulet.
Okay. Talk about your sorcery mutant skills.
Yeah,
Wolverine's Wolverine says, I don't know about any sorcery or whatever with this amulet, but you guys better get ready to go.
But
We're heading out in 20 minutes, he says as he leaves the garage to go.
So the lightning's all new from the use of the amulet in the book. Interesting. Nice.
All right, so is there anything anyone else would like to do before leaving out?
No?
I got my bow staff. I'm ready.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I figure we're going out into town with Wolverine. I expect there to be trouble.
Let's dance, Cupcake.
Yeah, let's do it.
And his job is actually to keep you guys safe, not getting you into trouble. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
All right, come on. This is Wolverine we're talking about here.
Okay. So you guys all pile inside of a van, and he ends up driving you guys down through New York City into Chinatown.
Sweet. I love Chinese food. We stopping for lunch?
Perhaps. So dropping a little something in the chat. So yeah, a little picture here, a little Chinatown, whatever.
Nice.
All right, little theater of mine just to help the juices. All right, so you roll a vigilance check.
Yeah.
You roll a vigilance check. Very good, Cody. Eight. And you smell dumplings. You see some people riding down the street on carts and so forth, toted by a person on foot. Was there anything in particular looking for? Okay. Logan leads you all into a dimly lit alley behind a small dojo. You can see the streets are bustling, neon signs reflecting the rain off the slick pavement. When you find Danny Rand, otherwise known as the Iron Fist, sitting cross-legged on a mat, meditating.
Is he in his costume or no?
No, he's in street clothes.
Okay.
Okay. Wolverine leaning against the doorframe with the arms crossed. Figured I'd find you here, Rand. You still training, or just sitting around waiting for a fight? Iron Fist opens one eye, smirks slightly. Logan? Always subtle. What do you want? He says as he sighs. Gesturing behind him, he points at you guys. Got a kid here looking for a teacher. One who knows the way around a fight. Figured you might be able to show him a thing or two. Danny stands. He rolls his shoulders back and then studies you all for a brief moment. Calm, piercing eyes. He walks around you and towards you, hands clasped behind his back, looking you all up and down. Martial arts is more than just fighting. It's about discipline, control, understanding yourself. If you're looking to throw punches, there are plenty of places to do that. But if you're looking to truly learn, then let's see what you've got. He suddenly moves, striking out with a quick, controlled palm strike towards. Let me get a D6 from everyone.
From everyone? I'm scared. Just 1d6?
1d6.
How roll d6 1-6?
I guess.
How do you roll just 1 6-sided?
Let's roll. Okay.
I just roll one on like actual die I have in my hand.
Why not? Whatever you like to do. Just roll me a d6. Just a 6.
I rolled a 1.
A 1. Okay. Cody, you rolled a 3. What about you, Brian?
6.
Okay, and what about you there, Lee?
I got a 2.
Okay, so our highest roll was Brian, so you're a lucky little contestant. So, he suddenly moves, striking out with a quick, controlled palm strike towards you, there, Cisco. Okay. But not to hit, just to test your reaction. Okay. So, go ahead and roll me an agility check.
$16.
All right, so you actually use your quick reflexes to actually put a hand up to block the incoming strike. He says, good. The first lesson is to expect the unexpected. Wolverine clears his throat. You two work that out. We got one more stop to make. Hope you're ready for something weirder than Kung Fu. Okay? So, Danny Rand decides to follow you guys as you guys continue making your way through the city of New York. Sorry, doing something. And you actually find your way into Hell's Kitchen. The city skyline glows in the distance, but this area is quieter, darker. Logan and you stand before an old abandoned church. That's a church. Okay.
So we gonna go into the church, or what are we doing?
Yeah, okay, I'm still reading. I was just trying to drop that
I'm
one.
sorry.
Okay. So, old abandoned church. The stained glass windows are cracked. The door slightly ajar. Inside, dim candles flicker. As you step inside, the air is filled with a quiet sense of reverence. The long-forgotten chapel is still, except for the shadows moving along the rafters. Wolverine looking up, his hands on his hips. You always did have a thing for the dramatic, elf. Sound fills the air, and a poof of dark smoke. Nightcrawler appears, crouched atop crouched atop one of the pupils. Not pupil. What is it called?
Fuse?
Yes. Why was I having hard with that? Why was that so hard? Pew pew. Yeah. His yellow eyes glowing in the dim light. Okay. Okay. Grinning with his tail flickering behind him. Logan, it's been a long time. He looks past Wolverine to the rest of you standing behind you, curiously. He looks upon you, and you brought company, it seems. Wolverine jerks a thumb towards the Green Knight student, or Jason. Kid's looking for a sword teacher. Figured you'd be interested. Nightcrawler teleports again, appearing gracefully in front of you, Jason. Sorry.
It's not me, it'd be
John. Sorry, John.
You're all right. I'm pretty excited because there's a teleporter here.
His
It's not
arms,
just for my teammate.
so he disappears again and reappears in front of you with his arms crossed. He studies you thoughtfully. A knight's path is not an easy one. It requires skill. Sorry, give me 1 second. A knight's path is not an easy one. It requires skill. Yes, but also faith, discipline, and understanding of one's own soul. He pauses, looking between you and Logan. And you think I'm the right mentor for them? Wolverine says, gruffly, lighting a cigar despite the church. I think you're the only one who won't just teach him how to swing a sword, but why to swing it. Moment of silence, and the Nightcrawler slowly nods. Very well. As you wish to walk the path, then let us begin. All right. So in the abandoned church of Hell's Kitchen, dimly lit by flickering candles, dust filters through the broken stained glass windows. Nightcrawler stands near the altar, his yellow eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. Wolverine and Iron Fist step forward with you. The wooden floor creaking beneath your boots. Smiling, Nightcrawler crosses his arms, tail flickering behind him. It appears we have more guests than we expected, Logan. I assume this is your doing, pointing to Iron Fist. Figured I'd bring some backup. These kids got a lot to learn. And you ain't the only one who can teach them a thing or two. Danny Rand steps forward, bowing his head slightly in respect to Kurt. Logan told me you were a swordsman. I've studied many martial art disciplines, but I've always appreciated the elegance of the blade. I'd like to see how your style compares to mine. Raising an eyebrow, drawing the hope sword from its sheath with a flourish. A duel of skill and discipline. How could I refuse? He grins, teleporting to a broken pew, flipping the sword in his hand. But first, I believe our young friends are in need of some guidance. He gestures to the rest of you. Okay. Wolverine steps forward, cracking his knuckles. All right, listen up. You're getting lessons from 3 different warriors today, and none of us fighting the same way. That means you're in for a rough time. He smirks and gestures between Nightcrawler and Iron Fist. Elf here fights with speed and finesse. Rand, he's all about flow and precision. Me, I fight to win. So, if you want to survive out there, you're going to have to learn all 3 styles. Fast. Nightcrawler sheathes his sword and steps forward. He grins. Logan is not wrong. Speed, power, and technique each have their own place. But above all, a warrior must have purpose. A sword in uncertain hand is no better than a dull blade. You must know why you have to fight, not just how to fight. Danny folds his arms, nodding in agreement. Power means nothing without control. Strength without purpose is chaos. That's why what we're going to teach you today. The 3 instructors glance at each other, exchanging unspoken agreement, and training is about to begin. Okay, so for speed and agility, Nightcrawler teleports into the rafters, balancing effortlessly on a wooden beam. Calls out, "You must be able to react faster than your opponent. I will strike, and you will dodge. Ready yourselves." Okay, so we're going to be rolling agility checks. Okay, I'm going to choose one of you at random. Okay, and you guys are going to roll an agility check.
Patrick,
Yes.
I levitate off the floor.
Okay, that's fine. You levitate off the floor. Okay. So with a poof, he disappears. I need my dice. I'm going to use a D4. Ha ha. Why? Because there's 4 of you, and I have so many dice. All right. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lee, roll me an agility check as a poof of smoke appears in front of you, and from the smoke comes a foot.
I got a 12.
All right, so he just manages to hit you in your chest just before you're able to block it. He says, "Too slow, again," and then he disappears back into the rafters. And then, in a poof, right above you, Chris, or sorry, Jason. Roll me an agility.
Okay, so
You
I
see
have
you see a poof of smoke appear above you. Roll me an agility check, please.
Okay, so I have the trait free running, and it ties in with my telekinetics. So the character has an edge on agility checks made to perform acrobatics during a movement action. So that was part of the whole deal that his dad did, the whole deal where he would use different agility and acrobatic moves while using his telekinesis to propel himself. So I'm going to try to roll out of the way, but I'm going to I'm rolling an agility check, right?
You're going to roll with edge. That's correct.
An agility check, and then I'll get to re-roll one of the dice.
That's correct.
All right. So I rolled a 6. That's great. Yeah. Let me. Oh boy. Oh yeah, we'll re-roll that one, and I have an 8.
Okay, so as he poofs above you, you feel a tail lash around your waist, and then he's dragging you down to the ground. Then he poofs away again, and he's below, and he catches you before you hit. He says, "Too slow," and he disappears again, and you fall on the ground. He jumps back up into the rafters again, teleporting, and then he teleports once again. Lee, roll me a agility check. That is for you, Damon. You are muted.
Yeah. I got 18. Fantastic.
Very good. So you not only are able to time his strike, you catch his fist this time. He says, "Good, very good," and then he breaks free of you and disappears once again into the rafters. And he's going to this time come down. Cody, roll me an agility check, right in front of you. Yes, pew. I just saw that. Okay, very good. So he tries to lash out at you with a kick, and you manage to catch his kick. He says, "Good, very good," and he backs where son assaults away from you, and then disappears into the rafters again. Of course, you know where I'm coming this time. Brian, roll me an agility check.
And get an 18 standard.
Very good. So you managed to block his strike again as he hits out upon you. Very good. Well done. He disappears in the rafters again. And this time comes down, and you are still brushing yourself off from the ground there, Jason, as you finally got yourself standing again. As a poof of smoke appears in front of you. You're like, damn it! Roll an agility check.
I'm gonna roll it again.
You do get edge, of course, with your telekinetic ability.
Man, I am rolling for crap.
Well, it's
Okay, well, I rolled I got a 14.
Very good. So you managed to that's enough. That's just enough. So he actually kicks out at you, and you manage to block it this time. As you he says, "Well done, all of you," as he backs up and lands upon the few. He bows to all of you and says, "Thank you for allowing me the opportunity." Danny moves to an open space, motioning for the students to surround him. "All right," Danny says. "Fighting is not just about throwing punches wildly. Every moment must have an intention." He gestures for a student to strike it. I'm going to once again roll a d4. Make this random. So, that's a Cody. Or a John. John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. His name is my name too.
Oh my word.
So I actually want you to roll a melee this time.
17 standard.
That is a melee? Okay, cool. All right. So you strike at him, and as you do, he gestures for you to strike at him, and you throw a punch. He sidesteps, okay, and redirects your energy with the palm of his hand down into the ground, okay? He just says, "Good. Now try again." And he turns to another one of the students. We'll say, "Brian, make a melee attack." And that's not with your sword, by the way.
I got an 8.
8. Okay. So he, as you strike at him, he takes your hand and flips it over, and you end up on your back. Okay. Okay. Just making sure we're aware that you're not swinging your sword. You're just punching. I'm not saying that it changes your role, but just for theater of mind purposes, you're not trying to hit Rand with a sword. Okay. So
So he just flipped me on my back.
yeah, as you punch at him, he grabs your palm and then redirects your weight, flipping you over onto your back. Okay.
I'm gonna be looking up at the ceiling, just go.
So that brings us to, we're gonna go roll it again. That brings us to Lee. Lee, you strike out at him. Make me a melee.
$18, fantastic.
Well done. So you actually, with the fantastic, as he goes and hits or flips, Cisco onto the ground, trying to make sure I'm using your character name so I get used to him. Flips Cisco onto the ground. You go with a sweep to get his feet, and you actually manage to sweep his leg out from underneath him, flipping him onto the ground. He then, of course, rebounds real quickly and flips himself back up. He says, "Very well done." And who else do we have left?
Me.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a melee attack.
Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to use the one of the pews that are near me. Item that I'm going to use with telekinesis for the melee attack
Okay.
because I'm not much of a hand-to-hand combatant.
Okay.
So and it's really hilarious. So I had no bonus to this to melee. So here we go.
Okay.
Am I doing logic with the telekinetic or am I doing melee anyway?
It sounds like you're doing a logic check. Go ahead and roll logic.
Okay. And I got an 11.
Okay, so you actually do manage to grab a pew, lift it up off the ground, and launch it through the air at Danny Rand. That then kicks it with his foot, shattering it into pieces. He says, "That is not how you punch."
I'm like, well, you just said that you're not always going to be using a puncher or whatever, so I figured I would do it my way. I'm sorry.
Very well done. Now, he looks back to
Does he want me to actually try a melee attack on him?
so both Brian and you. Go ahead and roll me another melee.
All right, I'm rolling it on the melee. Wow, I got a 7.
I got an 11.
An 11. Okay. So he blocks your punch, Brian. This time he doesn't flip you. He just, kind of gently, passes you down to the ground again. Says, "A good strike, good force." With yours, he actually does the same thing he had done to Brian previously, and flips you over onto the ground. He says, "Focus." Okay. He helps you back up to the ground, standing up again, and asks you to try again. Okay. This time I'd like you to go ahead and roll a melee. Okay. He says, "Shift your weight." Okay. Make sure you are putting your weight on the use your entire body to flow with the strike, but not just your body, your spirit, your inner chi. In this case, your psychic ability. Okay? Same thing, he says. Now, focus and strike. And this time I want you to go ahead and roll with melee, but I'm going to ask you to go ahead and roll with edge.
Okay. Oh wow. So before I roll the edge, I have a 13 fantastic, but I do have a 1 in there. So I guess I'll hit reroll. Reroll the 1. And so I have a 16, fantastic.
All right, so you see him sidestep your strike as you attack him. You definitely would have hit. Typically, he just uses his defense in order to avoid damage. But he says, "Well done. That's how you strike. Good." He says, "Now you." He starts to Cisco. Let's make sure that wasn't a fluke. Now strike me with everything you have. Roll me another melee there, Cisco, and do it with edge this time.
You guys, 16, fantastic.
Very well done. So you actually do manage to strike at him this time, and actually, you would hit him right in his chest as he just grabs your fist at just at the last second, okay, to avoid you actually punching him. He says, "Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Well done." Okay, and let's see. One by one, the students learn to control their power and strike with efficiency rather than force. Blah blah blah. Okay, so survival instinct. Okay, so Wolverine steps up and he says, "Okay, that's enough of all that. We've, he rolls his shoulders. All right, enough of this fancy footwork. Out there, you ain't always gonna have time to think. Sometimes you gotta go with your gut." He lunges at one of the students. I'm gonna roll a. Have you guys roll a d6 once again? Just one d6.
4.
All right,
4.
4.
We got a 3.
And this time Cody has the highest one. So Cody, his claws pop out just at the last second, and they come inches away from your face. Okay, he stops just before they impact. He sees what your reaction is. Okay, go ahead and roll me an agility. Okay, very good. So you managed to use your sword and block the attack. Okay, good. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing to each one of you in random. Okay, I'm going to start with. Looks like that is. Why did I choose the hardest one to read? That's going to be a Brian. Brian, he strikes out at you. Go ahead and roll me another agility.
That'll be a 14, fantastic for me.
Very good. Okay, so you managed to avoid his claws as he strikes out at you. Flipping out of the way, he says, "Well done." Or maybe with you, you're using your
Bow staff.
yeah, your bow staff in order and parry out of the way. Next up, we're going to go to Chris. He strikes at you with his claws. Go ahead and roll me an agility.
And I get an edge on this because it's an agility check.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to reroll the 1. It's an 11 before I roll it. So I'm rerolling the 1.
Okay.
And it's still an 11.
All right. An 11. Very good. So he strikes out at you, but stops just before your face. He says, "You're gonna have to do better than that, bub." He then turns to you, Lee, and strikes at you. Make me an agility check.
That would be 12.
Well, very good. Okay, so you managed to just barely avoid his blades as he stops just before your face. Uh, he's like, all right, you're gonna be faster than that. Okay. He turns back around to the two of you. Okay, the ones that didn't quite succeed the last time, and he tells you, now this time be ready, and go ahead and roll. If you already have edge, go ahead and give me double edge, and if you don't have edge, go ahead and give yourself edge and reroll.
Is that to everyone?
Well, to you two, the two that failed the first time.
Okay.
Damon and Chris.
So I do an agility check, and then I add edge twice.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Wow.
Yeah, 16 for Lee.
Okay. So this time you parry out of the way, using your one of the techniques you've learned along the way to avoid him completely. He swings past you. You feel like he was actually trying to hit you that time.
I don't want to roll the second edge.
Okay, that's fine. What was
The first edge was a 14, and my Marvel die was a 2, and I had a 6 and 5 on both those. So I re-rolled the Marvel die and got a fantastic. So I'm 18 fantastic. I don't really want to re-roll anything else.
Okay, so he strikes at you, and you gingerly step out of the way, and he goes past you. You feel like he was actually trying to hit you that time too.
Okay.
He says, "Well done, all of you. Good job. You're all still alive. Don't worry, I wasn't really." He says, Nightcrawler says, "Was that really necessary, Logan?" He says, "I knew they were getting out of the way. It was just for dramatic effect."
That's funny. Just for dramatic effect.
All right, so Rand and Kurt, applaud you guys. And Nightcrawler, he says, as you guys are all catching your breath, he leans against the altar, watching you all thoughtfully. He says to himself, "Perhaps they are ready." Okay, that's kind of what I had written for all that. It got a little sappy towards the end, but that's okay. So, at this point in time, you guys can go ahead and receive your training bonus for this week. So, going once again to your little deal, you guys can choose a power, an ability, or a trait if you already have it. Okay? And add that to your whole deal. I'm going to take the time to go smoke a cigarette, and then I'll be back.
So where do we add this?
So you're gonna go to the character. You're gonna go up to like the little 3 bars next to your name. Okay.
Yep.
And that's gonna tell you to go to character builder. Okay. You're gonna take it in there, and then down. Okay. Underneath with the different options, you should already have all that set up. So you would just be choosing a new ability to add. You got to fill in the block little thing. Fill out the block. Okay, it's either power.
It's under on the side. It's under school advancements.
Yes, exactly. You got it.
Okay, so I have a point to put in ability, trait, or another power.
All right, so I'm going to give you guys a moment to do all that as I'm going to slip outside and smoke a cigarette. Don't worry, I'll bring you with me.
So I'm going to take quick phase for my getting schooled the power, because whenever that sentinel head was falling out of the sky, I think it would have been so badass if I could have just quick phased, let it fall on me, and then just phase walked out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would have been cool. That would have been cool looking, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm going to go ahead and take quick phase, because I think if that scenario works.
I'm doing an ability point. I'm really not sure where to put it.
Well, I know you were talking earlier about wanting to maybe do a little bit more damage with your logic. There is the brilliance power that would up your multiplier. So whenever you're rolling damage, you would have that little bit of a boost there.
So what you're saying is I could not do a ability point. I could put it in power and take it to brilliance power.
Yeah, and brilliance advances like it's got advancements. So like come later in the game, you could actually have it. I think up to like +4, so you can have like a +4 on your mod, which gets pretty cool. But
So
that would help you get, or is it logic? Give me 1 second. Let me double check. I think it's brilliance though.
I'm looking to see where this is. I'm looking to find it. What's it under?
It's a power. It's a basic power. Yeah, Brilliance 1, the character puts their brain to work. It's a permanent bonus. The effect is the character adds +1 to their logic damage modifier, and they add a +1 bonus on logic checks other than attack. So on your non-combat checks for logic, you would increase that by 1 as well.
Ah, so this would actually go in. So being a telekinetic and teleporter, this would actually benefit my character, is what you're telling me.
It could help you out if you're wanting to do a little bit more damage with like some of your telekinetic attacks and stuff like that. That would provide a helpful thing there. But
Yeah. Oh, now you got me looking at my powers and the things I can add to it.
right, there's a lot of cool options in this game. I really dig it. What was the other one I was thinking about for you? I think that was it.
But the other power I've been looking at is that blink barrage. What? And then let's see. I got that.
Oh yeah.
I think.
There is also a rank 2 power called Bump Power. It's in the power control power sets. It's a cost base of 5 focus, but then there could be additional costs depending on what the power is that you're boosting. But for like your telekinetic attack that you were doing, if you were to select it, the character picks 1 power, and they can boost it. The power has ranges, or if the power has ranges or effective areas or durations, these are doubled. If the power affects a damage multiplier, add a 1. So you would up your logic multiplier by 1 for that attack. And then any effects that would normally happen with a fantastic success automatically happen, even if it's not a Marvel roll. So if you roll a standard roll and it hits, it counts as if it were a fantastic roll.
After looking at all the stuff, I think I'm going to go with your first suggestion.
The brilliance, yeah.
Yeah, I think that gets even cooler as you rank up it, or as you rank it up.
Oh yeah. Whenever you get into it a little bit, it gets pretty wicked. But yeah, so eventually you'll be able to like give people aneurysms from like miles away.
All right, cool. Let's go look at my character sheet now.
Exploit. That's cool,
Oh, yeah.
Cody. Exploit's a good one.
pretty freaking cool. Yeah, that's interesting. So non-combat checks are a +4 now. Wow.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, my character has a -1 in logic, so you're definitely the smart guy of the group.
I don't know. You're smarter in diffusing the game aspects. But I do need to figure out where I'm going to put my ability points as I decide to take them. I have a 3 in logic, a 1 in vigilance, 1 in resilience, and 1 in agility. I guess I should start evening out where I put some of this stuff. But
Depends on place. Oh, really?
yeah.
I'm just gonna focus on my melee and resilience.
I
Do
think
a little bit of
agility is
vigilance.
something else. I need to also focus some stuff on more in agility later as well, for some things I want to be able to do later. But hey, so far I'm liking it.
Yeah, it's a fun game. This getting schooled is a pretty cool rule set. It's been pretty interesting.
Cody said he took the weapon, and he's also -1 in logic. Well, I'll be the logic guy. Don't you guys worry.
I just took it because my character's got the young trait or the young tag. So like I'm a little kid.
He's the melee. Cody says he's the melee ego guy.
Nice.
Alrighty then. So, Pat, what else we got on the plate for this evening? He's muted right now.
I'm getting back into my room. I had to go make myself a drink as well, so. Doing all this talking makes me thirsty.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I enjoy it. It's fun. So, okay. What do I have planned for you next? So let's see. Nightcrawler talks about how he has something pressing he's kind of trying to deal with. He's not really sure, but he's glad that you guys came about. Maybe you guys do possess the ability to help him after all, after your training and so forth, proving yourselves quite capable. Tells you guys about an abandoned factory he's noted activity at. At first, he thought nothing really of it, just maybe some squatters, but he decided to keep a close look on it all the same. While staked out, he, upon some rooftops across the way, he discovered that there were people actually coming and going in the still of the night, and that they were delivering with vans, offloading merchandise that appeared to be from Stark Labs. He said he went and looked into it, and it turns out that Stark Labs had a series of robberies that involved some robotics and some future tech from different various places, including Stark Labs. He assumes they are connected, but was reluctant to pursue it because after he had infiltrated initially, discovered that there was a number of different robots of some sort that were that were guarding the place, and he thought maybe he should get some assistance before continuing forward. Then, when he was trying to ponder what the next best thing to do was, you guys happened along. So he wonders if you guys would assist him. You, Iron Fist, Wolverine, and the rest.
I blink over next to him and I'm like, I'm totally down to assist you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm down.
So, of course, I
have a question though. Do we have the ability to I guess it's not a big deal. My focus points are down to 10 from 30, but we should be fine. I should be fine. I don't know how often we. I guess
I'll tell you what. You guys can go ahead and receive a rest as you guys sit there at the church. Danny Rand orders some takeout of some kind, and maybe some Chinese food, and you guys sit and regain your strength and focus. Okay.
So you just hit restore full or whatever.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right, cool.
So you follow Kurt across the city into a remote area. One a bit more run down. You find what appears to be an abandoned factory that doesn't look so abandoned.
It looks kind of ominous.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Strange things going on in that building there, Pat.
I'd never.
He's like, I never.
Okay.
What are you cute trying to accuse me of?
So, the group of you go to make your way into the factory. It seems, even though all the lights and so forth, quite eerily quiet. As you enter the abandoned factory, now dimly lit and a bit eerie, with flickering lights, the sound of machinery hums faintly in the distance. You'd be able to do two things at once. All right. As you inspect the surroundings, you find crates and equipment bearing the unmistakable name of Stark Industries.
Why does that remind me of Ultron?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
That's scary. Oh boy.
Among the debris that you find scattered about, you see visible pieces of advanced robotics, arms, torsos, heads of humanoid machines. But they've been altered. The wires hang loose. Strange glowing symbols are etched into the metal. What would you guys like to do?
Is it like a known language, or are they like weird runic
can you, like,
symbols?
describe them in any way?
Both of you, what was that? You want to know what kind of language it was in, and what did you say?
Could you just describe them in any way? Like, what do they look like specifically?
Okay.
Distinguishing features, I guess, would be a better way to put it.
Well, I did provide a picture of a bunch of different broken robots and so forth that are about, but whatever these machines were intended for, They've been repurposed. Etchings on the surface pulse faintly, almost alive. Um, a hybrid technology and something unnatural. You see that the instructions are written in or are all in English. Most of them coming from Stark Industries. As you guys go in and are inspecting everything, a soft mechanical sound interrupts your investigation as a partially assembled robot begins to move. Twitching, its red optics glow to life.
Can we restrain this thing?
Sure. Go. Yeah, so it lurches to life. It's humming with these lights and so forth, but it hasn't really done anything yet. It just seems to be sitting up.
Maybe instead of grabbing it, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna phase, but I'm gonna talk to it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna ask it if it's like intelligent.
Okay. It doesn't speak. It seems to be gargled, intangible sounds of clicking and whirling, beeps and chimes, but nothing that seems to come that seems intelligible.
Is that the image, the last image you uploaded?
Yes. That's the robot kind of sitting up.
With really no lower torso yet.
No, it seems to be disassembled. It's only parts of itself.
Okay. It's been disassembled, or somebody has just been messing around and putting stuff together?
It appears someone's been putting stuff together and working with things and so forth.
Okay, so
You also turn up a computer console there, Damon, as you're looking about for things and whatnot.
Yeah, I'll holler for Mayhem to come check this out.
All right. I head over there. Is Kurt nearby?
Sure. Yeah.
I ask him, does he know who might be rummaging through this warehouse?
He's not entirely sure himself, he says. It's all a bit mysterious. He's not really sure. You guys had mentioned something about... I don't know if you guys actually said Ultron. He fears the worst. If that's true, that would be terrible. So, Damon, you had called for Mayhem about the computer console, right?
Yeah, I head over there.
Yeah, I got a -1 for logic. I'd probably just end up deleting shit.
So I head over to that console and take a look at it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a logic check to get into the computer.
Okay, I've got a 13. Standard.
Okay. All right. So you actually managed to somehow get into the computer console through some backdoor way that you find. You hack into the terminal and the factory, and the screen flickers with static before displaying distorted data logs. Among the corrupted files, you find some digital fingerprints of someone called Quasimodo.
Oh boy. Okay. So I look back at the 3 instructors. I'll be like, do you guys know who Quasimodo is? looking at Wolverine and Nightcrawler and Iron Fist?
Iron Fist says he's puzzled at the name, but Wolverine and Nightcrawler, they say, yeah, we know of someone named Quasimodo ages past had a run-in with Cyclops and Marvel Girl back when she was going by that name. You know her now as Jean Grey. Last I knew that he had met his demise due to someone called Aro Stark. Sure if you're familiar with that name or not, but Quasimodo's long
I
dead.
looked through these these little spots where it's mentioning him and kind of skim over it. What exactly is it saying in there?
As you continue to look into the computer, the terminal sparks to life. The screen flickers between lines of corrupted code. And, but buried within the chaos, you see fragments of text. A name you've never heard before, of course, Quasimodo. The words Artificial Intelligence System Archive appear, followed by a timestamp from decades ago. The screen changes, displaying a heavy, distorted image of a humanoid face with sunken, mechanical eyes. A terminal voice glitched. Quasimodo error. Person breach. System opted for reformatting entry. With one final flicker, the screen goes dark, and alarms begin to sound throughout the factory.
So I got a question. Is
Yeah.
it possible that somehow there's some sort of, something of this guy trapped in this computer and it's trying to upload itself into this half put together machine over here?
Oh, it's definitely possible. The sound of clanging metal echoes through the hall. Suddenly, from the shadows, humanoid machines step forward. Bye-bye.
Oh shit.
Gleaming metallic forms with their joints and chassis covered in faintly glowing red symbols. Their movements are precise, almost human, as they raise their arms to attack.
Red symbols?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see the picture.
Okay.
I feel like it's Arnold is attacking with no skin.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Go ahead and roll me some initiatives here, y'all. Let's get dirty.
Bad.
Terminators, indeed.
I got 16. Fantastic.
All right. Wow. Okay. Get two fantastics already on initiative. Okay.
Lee rolled an 8.
All right.
And Jason rolled a what is it? A 12? A 12. Right? A standard 12.
What were you calling yourself now, sis? Jason?
Mayhem?
Man. I like that. Very good. Okay. So we're going to start off with Cisco on a surprise round. So as you start to see these humanoid entities start to appear out of the darkness, what would you like to do?
How far away am I from them?
We'll say you're within 30 feet of the closest one. But they are all around.
I'm gonna get about 20 feet closer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna create a giant thunder cloud and just strike down the whole front row.
Okay. I like it. All right, roll me a ego check.
I got 15 standard.
15 standard. Very good. You hit. What's the damage on that?
11.
All right, so there's about 20 of these things. Okay, 19 to be exact. And you do damage a number of them, knocking them back. Okay, with your wind attack. Does it have any additional effects, or that's it?
No, that's it. Because I did not roll a fantastic. That's it.
Just making sure. So, John, you also have a Green Knight. You also have a fantastic rolls, which gives you a surprise round. What would you like to do? I'll run a bot and swing my sword. Of course you will. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Of course it is fantastic. A 17 fantastic. What's the damage on that, PK? I'm guessing 40, right? And causes bleeding, something like that. Okay. So, good news is actually that it's not bleeding because it's dead. So you cut it in half, okay, and the top and lower half kind of twitch a little bit as they cease moving. Okay, if that's gonna end your turn, that'll bring us to mayhem. Wait, no, I take that back. Those were both surprise rounds, so we're going to top of initiative now to actually start the true initiative order, and we start back with Cisco.
Okay. I'm gonna create a giant tornado.
Okay.
That's gonna take them all. I'm gonna cover all of them anyway.
All right, so they're all basically surrounding you. So you guys are basically in the center of these things. So if you created a giant tornado around all them, you would basically be in the eye of it.
Yep. Well, the eye is actually the safest spot of the entire tornado.
All right, so let's make sure that you get a good roll and it doesn't end up backfiring on you.
I got 12 standard.
All right, so you do manage to create the wind cloud around them, and you do some damage to them. Very good. Okay. You do manage to also narrowly miss getting Cody that charged forward at them, also caught into the blast. What was the total on the damage for that?
I got 13 on damage.
All right. So you do, of course, knock them about with debris of the factory itself that's been laying about, and doing shared damage to a number of them. Okay. Will that end your turn?
Yep.
Okay. That brings us to John, or the Green Knight. You stand before a slain robot. Okay, but there's one that, of course, is very nearby that you can still get to that is not within the that is at least to the point that you could hit them without becoming trapped in the wind. Okay, make me an attack, please. Oh yeah, giggity giggity giggle. Okay, 14 standard, that will hit. What's the damage on that? 17, very good. So you slice it another one in between you and Brian. That's been doing damage to all at the same time. You manage to down another one. Okay? And with that, that'll bring us to Mayhem. So they've already begun attacking all these robots as they fell in two of them between the two of them. What would you like to do, Mayhem?
I'm gonna target the one closest to me, and I'm going to try to telekinetic punch it into the one behind, like next one closest to it. So I'm gonna use one as a battering ram on another one.
Okay. Go ahead and roll
A logic.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so I rolled a 22 fantastic.
Okay.
And it says it's an ultimate fantastic because I rolled 2 6s and the marble die.
Yes.
And then I had a +4. So it's 22 ultimate fantastic.
Nice. So you do exactly what you were planning, and you smash one of them into another one, obliterating them both.
Okay, so okay, cool. So they're both gone.
Yes.
Because I know it would have doubled the damage,
Yeah.
which was going to be pretty insane because it's a modifier now. But all right, cool.
All right.
And I levitate into the air as usual to try not to be anywhere near where I can be grabbed and pounded on physically. I like to avoid physical contact. And that will end my turn. I'll save my reaction to in case I need to help anybody else.
All right. So, John, aka Green Knight, aka Cody. What is your melee defense? 12. Okay. So you are struck. Okay. You're going to take 12 points of damage, unless you have any reduction of any sort. Okay. You're going to take, well, you're going to take no damage as it strikes at you, and you manage to, your damage reduction actually absorbs the sum of its damage. So it strikes at you, but you manage to parry it with your sword attack. Okay? Basically is what will end up happening there. Okay? To explain that. All right? And I don't think anyone else was necessarily in range for a melee, but I am going to roll a couple of just blast attacks. So I'm going to roll one at each of you. I've already attacked John, so I'm going to attack Cisco. Okay. What is your? I guess it would be an agility defense because it's a ranged attack.
11.
All right. So you're gonna. Do you have any damage reduction?
No.
Okay. You're gonna go ahead and take 8 points of damage. Okay. This is just regular blast damage. Okay. All right. That'll bring us to, okay, the next one that's going to shoot at, we'll say, Lee. Lee, what is your agility defense?
I'm phased at the moment currently.
Oh, you're phased, so it blasts straight through you, okay, and not able to hit you at all, okay. Bringing us to Mayhem. Mayhem. I'm assuming this is going to hit. It's a total of a 17. Does a 17 hit you? Your agility defense?
Agility defense. All right. My score is 11.
Okay.
But I do have an edge on agility checks for
This is just against your defense.
Okay.
Do you have any damage reduction?
Where would I find that?
It would be
right next to your health.
yeah, it'd be like a -1 up there.
Can I use
You
my
prob-
reaction and
I do not.
interpose?
I do not.
Yeah, you can, but aren't you like phased?
Yeah, but I can drop it
Okay,
as a free
Uh,
action.
very good. So then he is flying, so you can jump into the air unphased, okay, in order to absorb the blast. Okay. So do you have a damage reduction?
No.
So it's gonna take the lower of the defenses, which is going to hit. So you're gonna take 12 points.
Wow. Is he conscious after that?
Yeah, he's probably fine. I'm sure. He should
Yeah,
be fine.
I had 60 base.
Okay, I have 30. All right.
So your teammate actually absorbs the blast of your attack after literally having a blast go straight through him that couldn't hurt him at all. He put himself in harm's way to take that from you. I think I've attacked all of you so far. So I'm going to basically say, they attack aggressively at the party, okay, and Danny Rand, Iron Fist, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler get busy attacking them. They each take out a robot apiece, okay? That brings us down to, you guys killed 2, and then they kill 3 more, so that's 5. So
I thought we took out 3.
So you took out 3, therefore there will be 13.
Somebody took 1 out and I took out 2.
So there's 19 total, minus the 6, that'll be 19 total. There's 13 total. So this brings us to top of initiative with Cisco.
Okay.
Oh, so sorry. No, it does not. Because I go on 10, but there's someone after me. Okay, and that is Lee. Lee, it is your turn. I apologize. Okay.
No, it's all good. I'm just gonna run up to the nearest enemy and try to karate chop him.
I'm used to going last.
You do the Hong Kong Fooey chop?
Hong Kong Fooey chop. Go ahead and make it, man.
Hong Kong Fooey regular.
19 standard.
Standard. Very good. You definitely hit. What's the damage on that?
14.
14. So, keeping up with the damage that our friend has done already with the tornado. 2 strikes with the tornado. You actually managed to destroy 1. So that actually means that there is 1 less. So there's 12 now. Okay.
Nice.
So that will bring us to top of initiative. Brings us to Cisco. You continue along with the tornado, my guy.
Yeah.
I like
So go ahead and roll me another ego.
What's the matter?
I got 14. Fantastic.
All right. What's the damage on that and the extra effect, if any?
24.
24. And what's the extra effect on that?
It stuns them for 1 round.
All right. Very good. Okay. So that's cool. But no, they're not stunned because you take them all.
I'm looking at the wrong move. Excuse me.
No. You're good. Basically, I'm just saying narratively. You lift them up all off the ground, okay, with your whirling wind of terror, and then release them, and they all go crashing to the ground, and the parts go scattering all over. Okay. So you managed to destroy the rest of them with that.
Even
Awesome.
Yippee-ki-yay! I mean,
yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
yeah.
uh, okay. After you destroy them, one of them, there's its receptors begin to light up still. Impressive, you hear a static voice. You've managed to hold your own against my initial creations. But I assure you, you are far from ready to face what is to come.
Robo Quasimodo.
Okay, so you guys find yourself among the destroyed wreckage of these robots.
So obviously there's something deeper into this warehouse.
Gotta be.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me some vigilance checks.
Vigilance. Vigilante checks? Oh, we've got those. Huh.
You got a standard 14.
Nice.
Also have a standard 14.
Quit copying me.
We got a 12. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody has a 15. Fantastic. Well, where have you been, Miss? Hey, come here. No? Come here.
So, you guys managed to, you guys find a control room of some sort. Okay, at least you find what looks like something that controls a number of different machines throughout the facility. And it seems to be some sort of central hub, different computers that are about with a large monitor, a central monitor. Okay. And so you guys go about looking into the computers, and as you enter the room and start playing around with stuff, the television or the monitor screen lights up with a static, revealing a distorted face. He speaks from a remote location of some sort, it appears. His tone condescending. So you've made it this far. How quaint. I must admit, I'm impressed by your persistence. Though I cannot fathom why you'd involve yourselves with the affairs far beyond your comprehension. Intruders meddling. Unremarkable flesh. You stumbled into my domain, uninvited
Girl?
and unprepared. As is your nature, but no matter. You are only delaying the inevitable. You see, my genius is unparalleled. I have built machines that do not hesitate, do not falter. They execute my plans precisely, efficiently, far beyond what you fragile, impulsive beings could ever achieve.
Don't you mean you stole Tony Stark's stuff and hijacked his creations and are messing with that?
I am not blind to my limitations. My benefactors have spoken of imagination, that fleeting chaotic force that you mortals take pride in yourselves on.
So you're just
I find it inefficient. Why waste time on dreams when logic is absolute? Why chase novelty when perfection lies in repetition? Imagination is a flaw of the weak. The screen flickers as he shifts, his frustration momentarily breaking through. And yet, they say it holds power. That is the one thing I lack. My benefactors assure me that this will change soon. With their assistance, I shall evolve. I will no longer need imagination. I will become it. And when that day comes, there will be no force left to oppose me. But for now, I make do with what I have. These machines, my army, they are enough to deal with the likes of you. Leave now or be reduced to components. Either way, your interference ends here.
So you're just a petty thief.
The screen cuts out, going blank, as you can hear the sound of robots echoing through the factory.
And I'm like, yeah, like I said, just a petty thief stealing somebody else's creations, not even your own imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I turn back to the rest of the group and I'm like, I got a feeling we're going to be fighting more robots.
By the way, this is all Damon's fault. I told him to roll a die. No, he came up with a number. He chose a number. And by that number, Q. So I chose Quasimodo, which is a very peculiar supervillain.
That's what's up.
So we're getting like the MODOK version of Quasimodo?
Kind of something like that. Quasimodo is actually said to have that single flaw. He doesn't have an imagination. So
so he stole Tony Stark's imagination.
Right, yeah.
And he's put it together all kind of messed up like, so it's not working totally efficiently. It's too bad. So how many robots this time? Or they're not here yet?
Yeah, so you leave the deal, and you find that it's not quite the same as you previously saw. These robots seem a little more advanced than your other ones you just faced a moment ago. These ones armored.
These look more like Ultron. This is getting scarier by the moment.
Okay. All right. So you guys can roll me initiatives if you like. Or you can just roll over and I'll just succeed in my victory. My plans for global domination. My benefactors will be pleased.
Yeah, that's not happening. How many of these are this? How many this time? Just the 3 on the screen? That's great.
Right, just the 3.
I think I'm gonna have to call it. I'm falling asleep here.
We'll say there's 15, but this is also a very good stopping point. Okay.
14.
Okay. So great session tonight, guys. I hope you guys all had a good time.
Oh yeah, no, it was awesome. It was just a super long day at work, and I am exhausted. I got up at like 4 a.m. this morning. So
the characters are rounding out pretty well.
Very good.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool cast of mutants we got. Muties.
I'm glad you guys are all having a good time. So, until next time, thank you for joining us here at the Table in the Tavern.